I'm going to share with you 5 awesome tips to help you 5x the size of your plants in less than a year. Not only will they grow faster, they'll also grow better and be much healthier too. So no steroids for plants or anything daft like that. And this video is sponsored by Treleaf, and I've got something awesome to share from them that will turn your plant into an Instagrammable showpiece in no time. If you're a subscriber to the channel, then you'll have seen me nurture these 10 Monstera plants all the way from seed to young teenagers. Yep, it doesn't just have to be carrots and sweet corn you grow from seed, you can easily grow tropicals too. Well, about 3 months ago, there was a sliding doors moment for our Monsteras here, where 5 were given a dose of something special that I'll reveal in a sec, and 5 weren't. And you can see the difference straight away, can't you? These 5 are maturing at a faster rate than these 5, and you can tell that from the extra holes and slits in the leaves, a hallmark of any Monstera that is all growed up. So what was the magic potion I gave these then? This stuff. Don't get too fixated on the brand name here, it's the contents inside that is a game changer, and it's something that I've only really learned about in the last year or so, and I'm so glad I did because my plants are so much happier. This is Mycorrhizal fungi, my plant friend. A sprinkle of this onto the root ball of your plant and magical things will happen, trust me. Think Popeye and spinach, although on a longer time frame. Now it gets a bit technical, but I'll try and break it down as simply as possible, mainly because I'm no scientist, I'm just a guy with lots of plants. Think of mycorrhizal fungi like a plant's underground best friend. They're like tiny helper fungi that connect to plants' roots and extend way out into the soil, forming a network that works like the plant's internet. Through this network, the fungi help plants access nutrients and water that the roots can't reach on their own, and in return, the plant shares some of its food with the fungi. This is called a symbiotic relationship between the fungi and the roots. The fungi scratch the roots back and vice versa. Pretty neat, eh? For indoor plants as well as outdoor plants, mycorrhizal fungi can make a big difference. I always say that a plant is only as good as its foundations, and mycorrhizal fungi is there to make them almost earthquake-proof. Now, a great thing about this stuff is that it helps turbocharge the growth of your plants in lots of ways. First, it massively improves nutrient uptake, and this is mainly where the 5x growth magic happens. The fungi extend the root system, increasing the surface area for nutrient absorption. They can access nutrients like phosphorus, nitrogen and other elements that the plant's roots might not be able to reach on their own. The fungal network in the soil can also draw in more water from the soil, making the plant much more drought resistant and helping it grow faster even in less optimal conditions. So clearly, this stuff is the magic powder we all need to be able to proudly show off our green misters to all our friends and family, right? But how do we actually get this magic stuff into our plants? Thankfully, it's pretty straightforward, and the main way is when repotting your plant. This stuff normally comes in powder or granular form, so I've been adding a spoonful directly to the root ball when repotting a plant. This direct application allows the fungi to colonize quickly, which is exactly what you want for Popeye levels of growth. This is exactly what I did to the 5 Monsteras 3 months ago. But what about the plant you only repotted last week? Ah yeah, well, there's no need to leave him out, my plant friend. There are 2 things you can do. You can create a kind of mycorrhizal tea by diluting some in your watering can and drenching the root when watering the plant. The tea can help reach the root zone without disturbing the plant's private parts. And the water you use can actually turbocharge this, as I'll explain a bit later. The other way is to simply scratch a small amount into the top layer of soil near the base of the plant and then water it in to help it reach the roots. Now, mycorrhizae only needs to be applied once, as they will continue to grow and multiply within the root zone, as long as the plant is still alive, of course. So don't go applying it every week. But when the plant experiences some trauma like root pruning or repotting, it'll be a good idea to add some to the root ball. And avoid fertilising too generously with synthetic fertilisers like Miracle-Gro. This can actually stop the mutual relationship between the roots and the fungi forming. So it's much better to opt for organic or slow release fertiliser like Houseplant Focus. Now that you've got some good old fungi in the soil and the roots are having a party, you now need to maximise the potential of the stems and leaves to truly get epic growth. The engine is purring, we now need to get the paintwork up to scratch. And this is all about making the plant happy and giving him exactly what he wants. Now, what does this plant want? The three basic things of water, light and nutrients, sure, but he also wants to grow like he would in the jungle. A plant like this is never hanging over the sides like he's got seasickness. No, he's normally up and about exploring the world above him. Once a plant is allowed to climb a support like they would a tree, then growth really does take off. Just look at the leaves of this Philodendron verrucosum, much bigger and more handsome than this little fella that has been left to flop about all over the place. Now this verrucosum has been living on this moss pole for a fair few months now, and while growth is great, there are a few problems. First, they're super difficult to keep moist, and second, they're a magnet for fungus gnats. This is where today's video sponsor Trelleaf comes in, with their beautiful stake trellises that I've had dotted around all over my house for 2 years now. They've got tons of funky designs on their website for you to add to the pot of your plant and act as a support for your plants. The Monstrella is based on a Monstera leaf, which I think looks great, and they've got a new design called the Flora, which is perfect for supporting orchids. My favourite though is their modular range, specifically the Zella. I've had this Monstera Adansonia growing up here for a while now, and I'm proud of how fantastic he's looking. I'm a big fan of the colour and the grain of the wood. And the best thing about this is that the colour seems to mature with age. And check out the arrow roots attaching to the Zella. Looks cool, eh? This is when you know your plant is happy. All their trellises come with rubber feet to stop moisture getting to the wood, which makes them much better than those standard planks of wood. Plus the modular range, such as this Zella, is extendable to grow with the plant. This means I'll be able to add more trellises on top of this one to size up with the Monstera. Now, it is Cyber Week on Trelleaf's website, which means there's some fantastic deals on their trellis bundles. You can grab their modular bundle, which includes the Zella, with a very juicy 40% discount until the 30th of November. On top of that, you can use code Sheffield10 for an additional 10% discount. That's a massive total 50% discount. So now really is the perfect time to try their products or add some more to your existing collection. Just follow the link in the description to this video. So earlier I mentioned the three basic things that plants absolutely need to thrive: light, water and nutrients. I've already talked about how we can hack the plant's nutrient uptake with fungi, but there is something nifty we can do with the water and the light to speed up growth. Let's talk about light first. You see, giving your plant special fungi and putting it on a trellis is all well and good, but if we don't get the light right, it's going to be for naught. Now you will have probably read or heard about the evils of the sun and how we should keep our beloved away from the sun as much as possible, otherwise they'll fry like a shepherdar in the Sahara. To be honest though, this is not something I really subscribe to. Well, not entirely anyway. If we want turbocharged growth, we need to find ways to plonk our plants in front of the window. Now this next bit comes with some risk, because if we get it wrong, we could end up with Kentucky Fried Plants. You'll notice that all my plants are pretty much all cooped up around my windows. If they're not, then they've got a Sansi grow light over them. I do this because most of them are just fine getting a few hours of direct sun on their leaves. They benefit from it in fact. Generally speaking, thicker leaf specimens like Jades, Ficus and Monstera do very well right in front of my windows. But I do live in Sheffield where the sun isn't the strongest, so I might be able to get away with more than you can. But that's not to say you can't train your plant to live in the sun. This just means acclimatising him to the sun over a period of a few weeks. For the first week, you might try an hour or two a day in the sun, and then up that to 2 or 3 hours of sun in week 2 or something. There's no hard and fast rule. This should allow him to become used to getting some extra vitamin D on his skin and build up his tan. If you do start to notice some fading or yellowing here or there, simply pull him back and reduce the time spent in the sun. You're probably going a bit too fast. It's all about the slow build up. By the way, getting to the bottom of nasty things like yellowing leaves, leaf drop and brown tips is made so much easier with my free plant troubleshooting handbook that you can download with the link in the description. Not only will you get the handbook, but you'll also get the option to sign up to my Houseplant Digest newsletter that I send out every week. It's good fun, so check it out. So then, what can we do about the good old H2O to maximise growth potential? It is actually something I alluded to when talking about the wonders of mycorrhizal fungi. You see, fungi can struggle to establish in soil watered with chemically treated tap water. So if your tap water is naturally heavy or contains chlorine and such like, then you might not see the benefits promised by the fungi. The best solution here is to to simply use nature's finest, rainwater. Rainwater is naturally soft, doesn't contain chemicals, is slightly acidic, which is great for tropical plants, plus it contains small amounts of natural nitrogen. I'll leave how you collect and squeeze your rainwater to you, but you do want to make sure you're not bringing in anything untoward and adding to your plant's soil. If collecting rainwater sounds like a pain in the bum you'd rather not bother with, then adding a couple of drops of water conditioner to your watering can will make a big difference, but generally water is the gold standard. It might sound counterintuitive, but pruning your plant can make it grow bushier faster. Plants that reliably turn one stem into two or more really do explode with growth when you do this. Jades, Tradescantias and some philodendron and pothos are perfect for this. I'm always cutting back this jade and the result is a nice bushy plant. Tradescantias really do rely on you pinching their tips to encourage new branching. In fact, check out this guy. Would you believe that this grew from this single stem in less than 3 months and all I did was prune it back a few times? I also pruned back this philodendron verrucosum and it's got extra growth points on the go. Now it's really important to know how best to prune your plants to avoid costly mistakes. You can't prune a calafate in the same way as a pothos, for example. This video goes over everything you need to know to prune your little guys like a pro, including why pruning your monstera should be avoided. So make sure you watch it next and I'll see you there.